All right, so we are going to just bust through this. And I purposefully did not do my actual power hour yet today. So I'm going to literally be going through these and actually doing them and not just talking you through them, okay? So this is an action hour. I want you working. I will briefly describe little things. And then if you guys have questions, we're working off this, right? We're working off the Success Club System Tracker. If you have questions about sections, this is your chance to ask. If you're struggling with a certain area, ask. If you're still confused about something, ask, okay? Otherwise, you're never going to find your groove, and this is the business. This is the business. If you're not doing this, you're not working the business. You're just being an inspiration. And being an inspiration never changed lives because you're not actually getting a solution in their hands. And that's our job as coaches, is to tie people with a solution that will change their life, okay? So obviously, be proof the product works. Hopefully you worked out and had Shakeology today. Mark it off. Hopefully you shared about it already. So that means we get to dive right into the number 2. So connect, invite, follow up. This is the business, you guys. So initiate connections and add followers. Go to your accounts that you found. Hopefully you have, I call them my inspo accounts, and I've made a collection with my girls that I work from. So if this is your first one that you've ever been on, I create collections on Instagram. So I'm solely going to be working on Instagram. You can do all of these things on Facebook as well. So you work from wherever your people are. And at the beginning, lots of times you're working on both Facebook and Instagram. I still do both on Facebook. I share there, I connect there, and that sort of thing. But I'm not intentionally expanding because I've maxed out my friends at 5,000. And so I've run out of being able to expand. So I'm going to go to my collections, find my inspo girls, and the way that you find your inspo accounts is simply you're finding people who you connect with, but you're not necessarily trying to connect with them. You're trying to connect with their followers. So I like to connect with some cute blogger girls, not connect with, but they're following. I like to connect with other fitness accounts outside of Beachbody, help farmhouse home decor. I have lots of inspo home decor accounts because all of the women that follow them are my kind of vibe. So that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking, who do I vibe well with and where are they hanging out? Okay. So you're finding these people, and for 20 minutes, you don't really have to do it for 20 minutes, especially we're not doing this for the full time that it says on here. So we'll just do this for 5 minutes, and all you're doing is you're going to one of their pages. Shay has a question, so let me get to this. When you search hashtags, do you connect with people from recents or top posts? Recents. Top posts are going to be really big people, and you could use those type of big people as inspo accounts, but the recent posts are just going to be normal humans. So I don't do a ton from hashtags. I might search specific hashtags to find inspo accounts, but I work solely from the main accounts. And then what I do when I go to their page, so I'm going to walk you through this for a second. You guys can be working as I'm talking through this. I go to one of my accounts, this girl, and I go to one of her pictures. So I go to her page, and then I go to one of her pictures, and I go to the likes on one of her pictures. I don't go to her followers because they could be following her from years ago, but they're not active. I go to the actual likes, and then I simply, based off of their name and based off of their picture, I follow them, okay? So this obviously is not they could be coaches, and you could take the time to click into their page. This girl's super cute. She's boating. I like to boat. I like a few pictures as I'm looking at her. Click follow, and I click back and go through the rest of the likes, okay? So it's not anything complicated, and I want you to follow at least 20 in the next 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear me like breathing. If you have questions while I'm doing this, just ask. Mandy said, when you like, comment, and follow these people, like in the inspo accounts, do you then save them in a collection too? And what collections do you do daily? Yes. So I will actually talk about that sorting process in a couple minutes. Okay. I'm going to finish this and then we'll go on to, before we go on to the next one, I'll talk about what I do with all of the girls that I just followed. One sec. Okay, so I got through a bunch of mine. So this is super important, you guys. You can't just aimlessly do this and then never have anywhere to track them. Okay, so at the beginning, I was writing everyone in a notebook, but then I wasn't keeping track of like going back to them and whatever. So that's why I use collections and I train on this. So in the coach training units, there's all about collections. You can go there. But basically, before I move on, I can go through and I can, in the list, I can see all of the people that I just followed. It'll either say following if they're public, or it'll say requested if they're private. So you can't do anything yet with the requested people because you can't open up their pictures. But all of the girls that I just followed, I go back through them. So I click into their name, click on one of their pictures, and then I do the bookmark, right, the bottom right. And then I put them into whichever collection I'm adding to at that point. So I'm always adding to my next month's challenge prospects. So right now I'm filling my October challenge and my October coaches. And the way that I sort them into the two buckets is if they're already sharing some type of health journey, they go into my coach bucket because I want to talk about the opportunity with them. If they're just like a normal human, mom sharing kids stuff and whatever, they go into my challenger bucket so that I can invite them to my next boot camp once I've connected with them. So I go back through all of these girls and I just do one picture. So while I'm going back through, I'll like a few more of their pictures, sort one of their pictures into the collection, and then go on to the next person. So take just a couple minutes, and it shouldn't take you long if you already have your collections done. Go back through all the girls you just followed and sort them into your collections so that when it's time to connect with people. Well, I guess that's part of this same thing. So add followers and connect with people. You can go to your specific collections and all of your solid people are all in one place. So you're not just aimlessly connecting. Shay asked, how do you know who you just followed? So if you go to that same list, that's why it's important that you don't like you're working from one picture essentially. And if you go back to the list in that picture, the likes, it'll say following, and then it'll say follow if you haven't followed them, right? So you can see the ones that you're following from that list. So that's why I work from one picture for like this block of time, because then it makes it really simple. You're not like bouncing between a million different accounts. Okay, so then you added followers, you initiate connections. So all initiate connection means is be interested in what they're posting about. So this is when you can either use your actual news feed as your list, like, because you shouldn't be following people unless they're someone you want to work with or there's someone who just super inspires you. So if you're ever scrolling through your feed and you see someone that you don't vibe with at all and you would never like send them an invite, then unfollow them because they don't need to be there. So you need to get super purposeful with who's on your feed and who you're following. So essentially, it's time to connect. So all you're doing is you're going through and you're either going to a collection and connecting with like your October challenge prospects, connecting with all of those girls just to be interested in them, to build a relationship, warm the relationship up, or you're using your feed purposefully. You're not just scrolling, you are actively engaging on every single picture that you see. And if you don't have anything to engage on, unfollow them. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Like if I don't have anything to comment on, they're not my person. And I unfollow them and make room for someone else. So like this girl just had a baby. You're simply saying to them what you think in your head. Oh my gosh, he is so precious. That's what I said when I scrolled by the picture. So that's what I'm going to comment, right? So don't overcomplicate the connecting part. The connecting part is simply humanizing you. And obviously when they see my comment, hopefully they're going to be like, Micah Folsom Fit, who is that? Click on her page. Oh, what's she about? Cool. If they like what they see, they'll follow you. If they're not interested, they literally have like 2 seconds. They'll simply go back and keep scrolling and whatever. But the more drops of awesome, this is what's in the training, the more connections you do, the more your name gets out there, the more people see it, the more likely they're going to go to your page. Not only them, but every single other person that comments, that then is reading through the comments. If they see your name, they see your comment, they go to your page. You know what I mean? You have to show yourself on social media. So the more actively engaged you can be publicly, the better, because that just ups your chances of more people going back to your page. And when you're a boss and you're sharing your journey and you're adding value and you're telling your story and your pictures are rad, people will stick around and they'll click follow. Okay, so that's kind of like the process of it all. So now just go through and we'll spend like 5 minutes just connecting. So either go to your collections that you need to connect with or go to your feed and purposefully connect with that. I saw a question. How do you unfollow? Do you do this daily? I need to go through people and clean it up. So I'm very actively unfollowing people every day. Like if I'm on my feed, I'm unfollowing people. So it happens kind of organically. But then every once in a while, I'll just go through, like if I notice that my number is getting a little bit higher, then I'll just go through and do like a quick shift, like Swift, basically just off their name and bio pic, unfollow, and just do a tons. Because some people slip through the cracks that I don't realize. So I just do it. But I don't have like I do it for like this many minutes a day and this many whatever. I just kind of go off of what's going on with the numbers and stuff. What do you do when you get up to like 3,000 following? I feel like I have too many. I'm following like over 4,000. I'm following 4,300 people, and I literally have a really hard time unfollowing people. Like, I have 4,300 bad A people that I'm following, that I'm interested in, that are super rad, that I want to connect with. So I wouldn't worry about the number as long as they're quality people. Who cares how many you're following? Yeah. I unfollow almost twice as much as who I follow. I have 20. Not good. Yeah, at the beginning, it is a little bit unbalanced because you're going to be following a lot more than follow you. But it really is kind of a numbers game at the beginning. So just make sure the ones that you are following are there for a reason, and get rid of anyone that you can to get that number down so that you can then follow more quality people. Okay, go connect for a few.
I have a quick question. Is it bad to follow or to have more followers, or not followers? Sorry, I'm trying to drive and think at the same time. Is it bad to have that I'm following more people than are following me currently?
It's not bad. At the beginning, that's pretty normal, but you do want to hopefully get to the point where your followers exceed the people that you're following. But don't there will be an imbalance at the beginning, and then it'll shift. So just make sure that you are unfollowing people just as frequently as you're following people, and then you'll get really good at finding more solid people, and then you'll have a harder time unfollowing. But like, literally, if they're not a prospect, I unfollow them. So like, I got really specific. My social media is my business. It's my storefront. So like, I have a few people on there that are just like close friends and whatever. But for the most part, I don't just like follow people just to randomly follow them. Like, they're there for a reason, because I want to be friends with them. Okay, so if you see they are in another MLM, do you add them to a collection? If they're in one like Arbonne or something like that, I try not to target people like that because they're not usually interested. Although I have had one Arbonne girl do a challenge, but anything else, Rodan and Fields, Beauty Counter, Young Living, any of those, absolutely. I still connect with them and I still want them to be challengers. Lots of them become discount coaches too, because they're not weird about it. They're like, oh yeah, sweet, I want to save money, I'll be a discount coach. So as long as they're not like in a competing health thing, then I absolutely love to connect with those girls. And I love to support them too. Like, I buy stuff from all sorts of people just to be nice. And so the more girls that you can connect with and then support, the better. And they're good like ones that you can collab with too, and kind of shout each other out and get their following eyeballs on yours and stuff like that. So absolutely, yes. Okay. Next one, do a social media post that showcases the benefits of your healthy lifestyle or has a call to action. So hopefully, I mean, it's 8:20. Hopefully you've already gotten a post up, but if you haven't, go make sure that you at least get one solid post up today. I'm not going to give us time for that though, because hopefully most people did it. Update Instagram stories throughout the day. You guys, this is super important that stories make life so much easier. It makes sharing what we're doing and letting people in on who you are so much easier. So make sure, I know Ashley McClellan has like a list of things that she wants to make sure she covers throughout the week so she doesn't like get too heavy in one specific area. So think about what are the things that people are coming to your stories for. Our stories are a reality TV show. So they need to be entertaining. They need to be valuable for people to continue to come back. You don't want them to only go to your stories when they see your bubble pop up. You want them to type in your name and go watch your reality show because they're that like invested. So think of what you want people to come back for. Lots of my people are there for Finley, and I know that. So while my stories are very heavy like lifestyle value behind the scenes of like coaching and this life, I have to make sure that I fit in some of Finley or they will bounce, right? They will stick around just to see her. So just little things like that. Are they coming? Are you a great cook? So they're coming for your recipes. Are you hilarious? So they're coming for your facial expressions. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Madison. Are you like what is it about you that they're going to be coming back for and what's going to set you apart? So your stories, that's where you just get to have fun. You get to kind of let loose. You get to let them know who you are. You get to peel back the layers, and it doesn't need to be perfect or flawless or beautiful. It's just raw and it's real and it's entertaining or valuable or whatever. Okay. So make sure that you're sharing a wide variety, and within the variety, you have to do polls, do calls to action. Make sure that they're not just watching a show, but they know that they can be a part of the show, right? They can be a part of what you're doing as well. And the stories are the simplest way to do that. So maybe kind of go through your stories after we're done and see if an outsider came to your stories just today. Did they get a feel for who you are? Did they get to hear your voice? Was it only pictures? Do they get to like know who you are as a human? Do they get to know what you do? Like kind of use that as a self-evaluation to move forward and kind of course correct on how you want to do that. Okay. Okay. Respond to all new likes, comments, or views. So this one is super important. So we're not going to do 25 minutes. We're going to literally do like 5 minutes. So if you have any posts that you've done within the past couple days that you have not responded to every single comment, that's what's first. And then this is also where you're able to start new connections. So lots of people are like, well, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to go for invites. The people who are already watching your stories and engaging on your posts, that's prime real estate. Those are the people that you need to be loving on. Okay. So this is not go send them an invite today. This is use those lists as like hot prospects. They're watching what you're doing. They're interested enough to at least show up again or at least engage, and just go to their page and be interested in what they're doing. Go love on some of their posts. Go watch their stories, engage on what's going on. If they have nothing that they've posted, maybe they're like a social media stalker, just message them. Be like, hey girl, I noticed you watched my stories. I wanted to just reach out and tell you how much I appreciate it. It's super fun, blah, blah, blah. And just connect. Just be a human, okay? So we're just going to do this for 5 minutes, but this is something that should be quite a bit of time of your power hour, because this is like the bread and butter of who you need to be loving on and be proactively engaged on. Don't just let people come to you. The people that are there, go out and love on them so that it's not just like a one-way street. Okay. All right. Muting myself. Shay, she asked if I do all my stories in Insta and Facebook. I have my Instagram linked to my like page. So they all go to my like page. And I'm really, 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 really bad at updating them on Facebook. So on Facebook, I hardly ever have stories on there. But I also don't do much on Facebook as far as like business. Just the majority of my focus is on Instagram. If you still have if you're still trying to like work all the areas, I would absolutely post on both. Same thing, post on both platforms, because it's going to be different eyeballs for sure. Okay. Next one is to invite however many people to join your challenge group or learn about coaching. So you guys, you cannot skip this one. Amy, I'm talking to you. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. No, you guys, this is don't make this one harder than it has to be, okay? The people that you were just engaging on, the likers, watchers, commenters, that's who you should be inviting. They're already interested, they're already watching, they're already curious, and it's simply opening the door and taking that next step. So if you haven't already sent invites to all of those people, that's where you're pulling your 5 people or your 10 people or whoever. And it's simply something as little as, hey girl, or hey name, try and say their name like if you can, because then they just know it's personal. I noticed you watch my stories and I'm super grateful. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself and I feel like a lunatic. Ha ha ha. Like whatever your humor is, just be real and just be normal. And then I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but I have a couple spots left in my next virtual gym. Is this something you want to get some info about? Okay. Not hard, not complicated. Put some of your personality in it so it's not like robotic. Okay. Be a normal human and just have that go-to invite. I would have one for your story watchers. I would have one for your likers. I would have one like on just girls that you connect with within your DMs. Hey girl, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but I have a couple spots left. I've loved connecting with you and think you're super rad. Have you ever thought about jumping in? Do you want me to send you over some info? Okay? Easy peasy. Don't overthink it. These are planted seeds every single day. These are going out. And guess what happens? They either don't answer, cool. They say no, cool. Or they say, yeah, sure, send me some info. And at this point, this is when I talk about your flow. This is when you have to have your system in place because then it simplifies the process like 100%. So I have a no response in my Ditto app that I send as soon as they say, no, I'm doing my own thing, blah, blah, blah. I have a no response that I shoot them. If they say, yeah, sure, send me some info, I have a yes response. I shoot them. And if they don't respond, I just continue to engage on their stuff and just pretend like nothing ever happened and go keep like building the relationship. So if you have your next steps for after the invite, it takes the overwhelm out. I think lots of people don't invite because they're like, oh crap, but what am I going to actually have to do once they say they want info? I don't know what to say. So since they don't know what to say, they're not even going to invite, right? So just taking like 10 minutes and literally walking through the process, sending the invite, getting a no response, write up whatever you want to say in the no response, save that so that you have that now as your no response, and then save your yes response. And my yes response, so this is why I rave about having like an application form, because if you're sending out 10 invites every single day and you get 4 people that are like, sure, tell me more about it. If you're having to manually then be like, okay, sweet. So this is what we do in the boot camp and this is what it's all about. And if you're having to like do that every single time, that is so exhausting and such a time waste. You will waste so much time in your inbox for then people to be like, oh, wait, it actually costs money? Okay, yeah, no, sorry, not interested. And you'll have like spent 20 minutes talking to them, and that's 20 minutes you'll never get back. So you need to have, that's why I preach the application forms, because while maybe fewer people will come through the form than actually like just having a conversation, but when they fill out the form, they have a little bit of skin in the game. So they've taken time to fill out the form, to tell me about themselves, to tell me about their goals, to give me their problems so that when I respond back with the recommended pack and solution, I can then serve them better. And I can say, okay, I noticed that you struggle with this. That's why you need this program. And I know right here, you said you struggle with this and these are your goals. This is what's going to get you there. And this is the value and this is what it costs. And we start prep next Monday. I'd love to save you a spot. Do you want in? Okay. So like that just simplifies the process so much. So instead of doing the back and forth with a million people and then getting nowhere, take the time, duplicate one of the forms that's in the back office. I have a general 21-day bootcamp form that you guys can duplicate. And they always get messed up in the Google Drive. I have direct links. I should post them in this chat thread. I have direct links to the ones that you guys can copy. Maybe in our next like little work break, I'll post them in the chat. I have an MM100 one, and then I have a coaching application as well. Do you have them fill out the form first thing when they respond, yes, send me more info? Yeah, because my form has the info. So when they're like, yeah, send me info, I'm like, sweet girl, this is where you'll get all the nitty gritty. Check it out. If it looks like something you want to do, fill out the form. We'll figure out the best game plan for you. So when they go to the form, it's telling them about my boot camp. It's telling them like what it is and what to expect. And then it's asking them the questions of what do you struggle with? What are you looking for? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So it's doing everything all in one place. So I have my response, and then all you would have to do then is follow up a couple days later if you don't see their form come through. Hey girl, just wanted to check in. I didn't see your form come through. Just wanted to make sure it didn't get lost in cyberspace. Is this still something you're interested in? Okay, super easy. Okay, let me post those really quickly. And in the meantime, go send your invites, okay? I want you guys, while you're on live, to send 10 new invites, either to your challenge group or to coaching, okay? And comment in the chat thread when you're done. Ooh, Debbie's done. Like a boss. Okay, I just posted the direct links. So if you click on any of those links, it'll take you to make a copy of it. You would edit the copy and customize it to be from you. And all of the how-to and info stuff about forms is in the Google Drive and in the training. So if you guys have questions about that, go check those out. They're really simple, but they're kind of confusing at the beginning to figure out. So once you wrap your brain around it, it's like, it'll streamline your life for real. Woohoo! Girls are finishing up. So finish up those invites and then we'll move on. Good work, you guys. This is also when you're working from collections, or just from your lists of story watchers, likers. You have solid people every single day to invite, and you don't need to just aimlessly search for people. You should have a system for how you invite. So like with my collections, I connect with those girls for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I send all of them an invite, whether or not they've been in conversation with me, interacted back. If I've engaged on their stuff and warmed up that relationship and just kind of gotten on their radar, I shoot them an invite, and my connecting invite goes something like, hey Naeem, I've loved connecting with you. I'll find it right here actually. Let me see. It says something like, I haven't been inviting this week to a challenge group. Hey Naeem, I've loved connecting with you. Hold on, I'll just find it. I can't think and talk. I can't like do things and talk at the same time. I'm sorry. Keep inviting. I'll look for this. Okay. Hey, name. I've loved connecting and wanted to see if you might want to jump in on this final. So, like, I will shift it. So, this was the final wave of MM100 that I was inviting to. So, I wanted to see if you might want to jump in on this final wave of this new program. I'm opening enrollment for phase 3, and the girls in there are already fire emoji. Let me know if you or anyone you know would be into it. I'd love to work with you inside my groups. So, like, no matter what, if I've been connecting with them for a couple weeks, that means hundreds of girls got this message. And lots of girls don't respond. Lots of them will be like, oh, sure, tell me more. And lots of them will be like, no, thanks, I'm doing my own thing. But those are all seeds planted. And this is the compound effect. When you're doing things consistently and you're planting that many seeds, eventually some of them, whether or not they say yes right then, will continue to watch, will continue to see what you're all about, and will come back around down the road. So like, it's so important that you guys are just planting seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds, and you see it that way. You don't see it as, well, I sent all these invites and only one person out of 300 wanted in. Who cares? Only one person was ready, but now 299 people will be watching what you're doing, and at some point down the road, hopefully come around, right? Okay, so the next section is follow up with people you've invited. Oh wait, before I go on, someone asked in the threads earlier, do I connect with every single person in my collection every single day? And I don't. So generally, you should like allot yourself an amount of time. So maybe you allot yourself 45 minutes to just connect. I would literally race against the clock every single day. And I would see how many you can get through in that 45 minutes. Because if you lollygag and you just whatever, like, it's easy to get lost in all the stuff. If you're actually focused and disciplined and you're getting through as many as you can, I would do a race against the clock and see how many you can get through each day. Mark down the last girl that you connected with, like mark down her name or take a screenshot of her or whatever. And then the next day when you go to connect, I would just go to the same collection, go to that last girl, and then start there. So like, you're just getting through them as many times as you can. But depending on how many girls you have in there, I can't get through all of my girls in one day, but I can get through a lot of them, and then I can get through the rest of them or whatever in a couple days, and then I'll work my way back through over and over and over and over again until I'm ready to invite. So that's how I do it. And if you have more time to spend on your business, like if you have longer than 1 hour, all you're doing is more of these things. You're not creating new activities, new things to fill your time. You are doing more intentional, focused time on these things. These are the IPAs, the income producing activities. So when you're working your business, you're doing the things that are actually helping you grow your business, actually connecting a person with a solution, and you're just spending more time doing it. Okay. Okay. The next section is follow up with people you've invited. So I don't follow up with every single person that I invite. That would be crazy. But I do follow up with every single person who's like, yeah, sure, send me some info. If I never hear from them again, if I don't see them come through in my application form, if they don't respond back and say, yeah, I want in, or no, I don't, I'm definitely following up with them. Hey girl, know you're interested. I wanted to check in. Did you get a chance to check out what the group is all about? Whatever your follow-up looks like. So take some time really quickly. We'll just do a couple minutes. If there's anyone that you need to check in with, anyone who maybe has asked you questions before, you've forgotten, maybe they have a share card out, they didn't finish their order, check in with them, follow up. And if you've already followed up with everyone, if you have challengers, check in with them and see how they're doing. So we'll just do a couple minutes to this and then we'll move on to section 3. Okay, so section 3, get people results. So this is like the challenge group part of it. So if you haven't already checked into your challenge group that you're in, make sure you do that. Make sure you're also engaging on other people's stuff. That's really important to just bring energy and love and support to the group. And then recognize achievement. This just gets you in the habit. I love that this is part of what we do every day. We get to look for the good in others every day, whether that's within our coaches, whether that's within our challengers, whether that's just someone random on social media that's really providing value, or it has been a light in your feed, and you're just like either reaching out to them personally, or you're screenshotting something and shouting them out and just acknowledging that they're blessing your life or whatever. We get to be proactive about looking for those things every single day. So get in the habit of looking for the good. And then shouting them out, giving them recognition, giving them love. And as you do that, like as you shout out little screenshots of conversations that you've had with challengers where they're sharing wins or they're sharing something, lots of times I'll just mark out their name so you can't see who it is. And I'll share a little bit of our conversation where they're saying they've overcome something, or they hit a milestone, or they're just celebrating, and I'll share that and just share my excitement for them. That builds credibility and trust. So people that are watching from the outside, they're like, oh, someone else she's working with is getting results. Someone else she's working with is feeling amazing. I want to feel amazing. Maybe I should do what they're doing, right? So all of these little bits and pieces help credibility and trust as well. And then respond to questions from customers and coaches. So just get through your inbox, spend some time making sure that you're engaging with what's going on. Don't ignore your people. And then number 4 is do personal development. Hopefully you've already done that today, but if you haven't, you still have time. Go to bed with good thoughts in your brain. Wake up fueling your brain with good thoughts, and everything that happens in between will be directly impacted by those 2 things. So if you can control one thing, it's what goes on in your brain. And if you're struggling with limiting beliefs, with self-doubt, with fear, with any of those things, they are 100% holding you back in every area. So I would make that top priority. 15 minutes, in my opinion, is not near long enough. I would get in, honestly, at least an hour. I think an hour is essential. And that's not an hour all at once. That's read for 10 minutes in the morning. Listen to a video while you're in the shower. Listen to something while you're on your way to work. Listen to a training. Listen to the National Wake Up Call. Like you can fit stuff in the cracks of your day. The more that you can fuel your brain, the more that you can reprogram what's going on, the faster you'll see benefits and changes in your business. Like guaranteed, 100%. So make that a priority for sure. Okay, so that's the gist. Do you guys have any questions at all? Those of you that are on live. Nothing. All right. Well, we'll let you girls go. So this is every single day you're going through this. Okay? Every single day. Well, not Sundays. I don't do anything on Sunday. But I would at least do this at least 5 days a week, you guys, if not 6, at least 5. And it's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time. But if you really have big goals and you really want to grow, I would even double up on the time that you're spending on these things. Okay. Debbie asked, do you send hey girls? So I send an initial message to new followers. And so that's just part of like what I would do in initial connections and stuff. And they just get a simple, like, humanizing me. It says something like, what, buddy? Yeah, give me 30 seconds and then I'm done. Okay, my Instagram is wigging out. It's going to like 2018. It basically says something like, hey, I love making new friends on Instagram. Let me find it. Brig's getting in trouble. I've posted it before, Debbie. Have you not seen it? It's not anything cool. Literally, I have messages from 81 weeks ago. It goes from like 18 minutes to 81 weeks. So I don't know where it's at. I don't know where my new message is. But it basically is just saying, hey, I'm excited to get to see your stuff in my feed, blah, blah, blah. And I say something at the end like, if you need help with workouts, nutrition, or self-love and confidence, like I'm here to help or something like that. So it kind of just opens the door. If they are a story watcher and you have not connected with them, do you still send an invite because they are choosing to watch your stories, or do you do all the connecting for a few weeks before? So I wouldn't connect with a few weeks before story watchers, but I would at least, when you go to someone's page to send a message, always connect a few times first. That's just like no brainer. So I would connect first, and then I would shoot them thanks for watching my stories. Have you ever thought about jumping in? I'd love to have you. They're watching. They're familiar. It's not weird. Dude, this fly is driving me nuts. I'm sure this has been asked before, but I'm a super new coach. Do you work off of Instagram and Facebook or just Instagram? I'm having a hard time keeping up with both. So now I work honestly 99% off Instagram. At the beginning, I did both because most of my friends were on Facebook. Instagram was all new growth and took time to build. So, but everything that I'm doing on Instagram, as far as like posting, I'm also posting on Facebook. So I post on Instagram, copy the text, post on my like page, which you probably don't have a like page, which is fine. And then I post on Instagram or on Facebook personal page. So every single thing is always going on all my platforms. Just because new eyeballs see it all the time, when I'm proactively working, it's Instagram that I'm finding new people, connecting, sending invites and all that stuff. But you can absolutely, if you have a solid network on Facebook, work from Facebook. It still works. It's not broken. There's still people there that want to do stuff. But I wouldn't feel like you have to like expand on Facebook and then expand on Instagram. Like you could do one day expanding on Facebook and doing all the things, and then next day do your power on Instagram. Like you could switch off. Is there a way to make a playlist of a week's worth of these action hours so we could use them every day for a while? Ashley's the other day was awesome too. Hannah, like when you have one, you have them all. They're all the same. So I would just say, if you loved Ashley's, if you liked one of these, just like keep the link handy, and it shouldn't take you long to find your groove. Like, I don't want you to use these as a crutch. I want you to use these as kind of like oh, okay, this is what it looks like. That's easy. Now I can do it for the rest of my life, right? You find your groove. You figure out what you want to do. This is how I do it. There's a million different ways to do things. So I would just use them to like learn. Oh, hey, cutie. But absolutely, like, don't feel like you have to. I can only work when I'm on a power hour. Like, I don't ever want you to go like that, or I'll never do these again. Okay, just kidding. I love you. But yeah, if you love a couple of them, just keep the links handy and watch them a couple times. But after that, go fly, girlfriend. Like, go do your thing. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Go give my kids good night kisses. And we will see you guys on the team page. I will post this. Oh no, I see another one. Hold on. How often do you connect with story watchers? Like if you reach out to invite, they ignore but keep watching. It depends. If they're like a really solid prospect, I would continue to engage on their stuff, and I would just re-invite them. Like, hey girl, so you thinking about jumping in? It'd be fun to have you. Like, you can invite. You don't have to send the same invite. Like, you can re-invite multiple times. And if they're still watching, they're still interested. So I would absolutely re-invite after you've connected a little bit. Like maybe on a monthly basis or something. Okay, check it out. See you guys.